Daniel, you were just talking about your new roof. Is that the roof right there that I'm looking at? With the Trekcast electronic billboard on top of it. So that's pretty cool.
That's it. Get the billboard installed.
Probably get some
you can do the intro.
Sure. I'll do the intro.
Okay.
That's one of those things we should probably discuss it before we begin.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. I don't have one prepared, so.
All right. I wing it every single time. So
I mean, I
Everybody
could wing
seconds
it.
to prepare.
Okay.
I got it.
All right.
Just let it play out.
Trekcast.
The galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast.
Hello and welcome to Trekcast, the galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dan Lombardo, raspy as always. Got a cold again. With me is Daniel Reyes and Scott Strongbeard Bowders. We're coming to you live from Sector 0001 in the Alpha Quadrant.
All
It's
right.
Trekcast.
That's right.
Yeah. How long did you prepare that? That was amazing.
Quite a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah. It was just, you know, this may surprise you, but I open my mouth and things just come out.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You're the glue that holds us all together.
That's right.
Oh,
Jasmine's
man.
in the UK today.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's like whole other country.
that is. I'm surprised we let him go.
See, dude, his drool rings. See in the top doing his drool rings. No. All right.
Daniel's like,
I don't understand that one.
No. All right.
No.
that's all right.
Remember
I didn't get
Simon?
it either.
You remember Simon, the British kid who he did his drawings and they came to life, and then Mike Myers parodied it on SNL.
No.
All right.
No clue
whatever.
what you're talking about.
Anyone
No.
out there in Trekcast land know what I'm talking about? The song was like, and you know my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. No?
No.
Sure,
Jeez.
Dan. Yeah.
All right.
Is Simon in the room with us right now?
Yeah, I'm
Can you
sure
see
that's a
Simon?
song
Can you see Simon?
in your head.
Hello, my name is Simon. See, he knows.
Oh, boy.
Oh man,
I'm doing my drawings. No.
that's fantastic.
All right. All right.
Scott, how are you doing? Do you see Simon as well?
Yeah, I see Simon.
Yeah. Okay.
He's in the back seat.
There you go. The only Simon
Yeah.
I know is that game with the 4 lights on it, and you.
All right. All right.
Okay, so let me show you. I want to show you my shirt.
Okay. Nice.
Chicks dig the uniform. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's just a silhouette of Captain Kirk and company, and it says "Chicks dig the uniform." Now, there's a story behind this. So about 7 years ago, I went to Western Michigan University's auditorium and Miller Auditorium, and the Mythbusters were doing a farewell tour there. Okay, so
Okay.
it was Adam Savage and Jamie Heineman of Mythbusters, and they were on stage, and they're going over like telling stories about the past, and they're brought out a couple of props from old shows, and they brought out a brand new one of those slow motion cameras. And they're like, oh, we're going to need a volunteer from the audience. And Jamie goes over and picks somebody, and Adam's sort of like looking around. And I thought to myself in that moment, what's the best way I can get Adam Savage's attention so he'll pick me?
Right.
And so I figured maybe I'll just call out his name. And I just said, Adam. And immediately his eyes darted straight towards me. And he's like, you, come up stage.
Nice.
So I got on stage and I shook both their hands. And me and another guy stood in front of this camera and just, this is kind of a visual, so for those listening, but we just went like this. and just made this little puff with our mouths, and they showed it in super high slow motion, and it looked weird and crazy. But yeah, I got to meet the Mythbusters, and when I got on stage, this is the part where the shirt comes in. Adam Savage shakes my hand, looks at me, looks at my shirt, and goes, "Hey, I really like that shirt, man." So
That's awesome.
That's my Adam Savage story.
Nice.
Did you take the shirt off and give it to him?
Then he signed my chest and he gave me the shirt.
Yeah. No, that's the ending
exactly.
I was hoping for.
That's how it works. Yeah. I'm sorry it wasn't more exciting. I'm sorry there wasn't more of a, And then we got to fight on stage, and we recreated the Gorn versus Kirk fight.
Did the fight music start playing?
Oh my god! 3-way nerd alert! Do it!
Oh yeah! Let's do it.
Warning! Nerd alert!
I don't ever want to have another 3-way with you guys again.
What are you talking about?
Listen, you waited years for this 3-way.
That's right. And you'll wait a little bit longer, but you'll get it.
My mom's listening. Hi, Mom.
Hello.
With all the things we've said.
Does she remember Simon and his drawings?
Yeah, I'll have to ask her. Oh, anyways, how are you, Daniel?
I'm good.
Okay.
Getting a new roof and might be dropping a surprise episode later this week. I guess we'll see what happens.
Okay.
I don't want to
surprise episode.
That interview I was telling you guys about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Cool.
We'll see. We're working on it. So
Cool. Looking forward. You have to stay tuned.
Yep, for sure. So make sure you're subscribed on the podcast feed and on the YouTube to see that when it drops later this week. Probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But Dan, how are you? You doing all right?
I'm sick again. You can probably hear it in my voice.
A little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I had that cold that lasted forever. And then I was pretty much over it. And last weekend I did some yard work, and I don't know if I kicked up a bunch of pollen or a bunch of mold or whatever, but
yeah,
it's that time of year.
I've been a raspy mess all week. I feel a lot better than I did, but I sound like crap. I know that. So sorry, everyone. Typhoid Dan, that's me.
Yeah, Typhoid Dan.
Yeah, allergies. I got hit Friday with allergies.
Oh wow!
I went to my son's track meet, and I rode my motorcycle. And as soon as I got there, like, my eyes just started watering, and I started sneezing. And I'm glad I had sunglasses on, because I went to the bathroom and I took my sunglasses off, and it looked like I was. The funny part is, it was at my old high school, and it looked like me after, like, my girlfriend broke up with me in high school. I I was all puffy, and I looked a mess. I'm like, I'm keeping my sunglasses on. So
it doesn't help when you lean over in your wife's car and you see that the kids put this in the in the cup holder.
Nice.
Okay, so
now, what do you guys call that? Your side, your part of the country.
This is a dandelion.
Okay.
So as someone afflicted right now, I want to throw this out the window. As a dad, I'm like, no way, man. If I throw this out the window, that's 52 more dandelions that I got to pull next week. So, nope, it'll stay right there.
Snort it. Yeah.
You know what I did one year? So a few years ago, the dandelions were so bad. I looked out in the front yard, and there were those, the puffy ones all over the place. I grabbed an extension cord and the shop vac, and I went around the yard, and I sucked up every one of those seeds.
Did you really?
Yes, I
My
did.
wife says that don't let me fool you. I was crying, not allergies.
Yeah, well,
I was not crying.
Klingons don't have tear ducts. He wasn't crying.
That's right. That's right. Well, hey Dan, when we go to the convention later next month, the Trek Long Island, I may need to get you a face mask and like a gallon of hand sanitizer just to make sure you're all right there.
Jeez.
Yeah, I can't be sick for that.
we still have it left over from COVID. I don't know if you remember,
do you? All
but
right.
our governor at the time had the state manufacture hand sanitizer and slapped a label on all of it that said New York State clean. So it's still all over the place. You walk around the state and you just see bottles of this shit everywhere.
Do you remember when they were
It's a
selling it in
constant reminder.
containers that it was never originally designed for? Like it was coming in like soap containers and like orange juice containers.
Anything they could put it in. Yeah.
Anything they could put it in. Put a pump on top and.
So what was happening in New York State? It was being bottled by the Department of Corrections.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
They were having inmates bottle this stuff, and
Made
so it
with
would
love.
be a gallon. It would be a gallon jug. It looked like the gallon jug of washer fluid that you buy at the gas station, except it had a pump top on the top. Okay, and you would touch this thing, and it would shoot this stuff across the room, and the reason
weaponized it.
Well, the reason for that was it's the Department of Corrections. These pumps were meant for ketchup, so it was meant for something thick.
Right.
So the suction ratio in this tube was such that it could suck ketchup through a straw this long. You then put something with the consistency of water in there, and it was literally shooting it across the room. It was awesome.
That's amazing.
Oh.
Yeah, I bought a gallon jug of it for a party that we had, and like 3 squirts were used, and that's it. We still have the gallon.
Yeah,
like, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know if I could burn it or throw it away.
Take it out at every party.
It's alcohol. It's alcohol.
No.
When you have the backyard fire pit, you need to get it started quick. Just pour a bunch of that shit on there. It'll go right out.
Nice.
Oh Lord.
Daniel,
what are we even talking about? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, let's get to the news.
Star Trek news.
It reminds me of old Trekcast when it was like all COVID talk all the time.
Right? Yeah. So our first news story comes to us from TrekMovie.com, and Riker, Jonathan Frakes himself, is weighing in on streaming Star Trek movies. Apparently, he is very high on this. He loves the idea of making more direct-to-streaming Star Trek films. He says things are going great with the Section 31 film. He also mentioned that this could be a possibility for Lower Decks going forward. Maybe Section 30, a 2-hour film, perhaps, for streaming. He also thinks that's a possibility for Star Trek Legacy, maybe to get a series of films instead of a whole season. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you rather 2-hour chunks here and there?
You know, this reminds me of probably circa maybe 2002, 2003. They talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back then they were called made-for-TV movies.
Right.
And I can remember post-TNG, post-Deep Space Nine, post-Voyager, probably even post-Enterprise, but maybe while Enterprise was still on the air, that was one of the ideas that was being kicked around. We should do some made-for-TV movies or some miniseries. The casts of those 3 24th century era shows are young enough that we could have some overlap with characters, and like everybody was excited about it. Never happened.
Nope.
Never happens. So let's do it 25 years later.
If it ever actually happens.
There's no new ideas.
Yeah. No, there isn't.
There's no new ideas. They just go to the bin and go, dust this off, or do that thing that Scott did, and they dust it off.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, let's try this one.
Yeah.
Well, of all the people that could say they're going to and make it happen, I would, trust the power of Frakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
You know, I mean, if they could just get him and Terry Matalas in the room.
Chazbiz disagrees. Nope, it will die.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah, more than likely will.
Yeah. I mean, this will be like, the 15 different Star Trek 4s we're supposed to get, and the God knows how many other things they announce and never happen. So,
sure.
Yeah. All right. Our next news story comes to us from Screen Rant, and we are finding out a little bit more why we have not seen Lorca in Star Trek Discovery Season 5. There was an interview done recently with Sonequa Martin Green where she talked about this. She was talking to Trek Movie about it, and they asked her, like, hey, you had an opportunity when you went into that pocket dimension to bring Lorca in, or you could have found any reason to bring him in. Why not? Because we never had Prime Lorca. And she said, well, at the time we were filming, we did not think that this was going to be our last season. So they weren't thinking that way to pull out all the stops.
Really?
Yeah. So because remember, they filmed this season quite a while ago, and then it's been in the back, being worked on quite a bit. So originally when they were filming season 5, they just thought they were doing another season.
Boy. Yeah. Does that mean we're going to get a cliffhanger? I hope we do.
No, we're not going to get a cliffhanger. What we're going to get is a crappy finale. Is what we're going to get. We're going to get a thrown together. We're going to get a thrown together Enterprise season 4 finale.
Yeah,
they're going to do a holodeck episode,
which will be less upsetting because I actually liked that show.
There you go.
Me too. Me too. Yep.
Yeah, so I thought that was an interesting omission, and admission, about saying that they weren't thinking that this was the final season when they first started shooting this. So.
Well,
and speaking of final season,
that's telling.
Right. Our last article comes to us today from CBR, and we are getting an encouraging update on the Orville season 4.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is straight from Seth MacFarlane himself. He was on something called The Mike Henry Show. I don't know what that is. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
It's Mike Henry's
show. It's a talk show featuring Mike Henry.
Fantastic. Anyways, he was on The Mike Henry Show. And he said, the Orville was a passion project. And he says, wait, I say was, but I don't really mean was, because there will be more. So...
Yeah, made for TV movie on Paramount.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going to make very short Orville treks or whatever they're going to call them. Animated.
I don't know. That says comic book to me.
Yeah. Could be.
That's what that says to me.
Yeah. It's always something disappointing like that when they're like, "Oh, guess what?
Oh, there's more." Yeah.
Is that the male person?
It's Amazon. I would not assume his gender.
There you go.
I said male person.
I'm saying I would not assume his gender.
Okay, did they stop at your window and be like, "Hey, do I need to drop it off here? Do I walk up to the
No,
door?"
I always wonder. If they're going to do that.
Yeah.
Like I'm just avoid eye contact.
I'm always prepared to, have a nice little conversation.
Yeah.
On air. Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Have you been approached by any of the Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses or anything like that?
Not lately. Not lately. There was that one time.
Yeah.
But,
I just recently rewatched that video. You were hilarious.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I loved it.
She was not expecting that.
No,
she was not. Yeah.
If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, Dan got approached while he was doing just before we record, or you guys recorded. This is a while ago, and this person basically approaches Dan and talking to him about, have you heard the good word? What do you believe in? And he's basically just like, I believe that one day there's going to be a federation of planets that will unite. And she's like, oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I guess an outsider would probably.
She said,
like,
"You thought about
which
this
one's
a
the
lot?"
crazy one?
And I said, "Yeah, I think about it every Sunday at 11."
That's right.
Oh,
that's awesome.
It was great.
All right, well that's all the news stories. So, let's get to the main topic.
Fun will now commence.
I'm gonna reset while you do that.
What was that, Dan?
I think he just
no,
froze.
did Dan freeze?
Dan froze.
Oh no, he said something and then he froze.
Yep.
All right.
He might have said, "I'll be right back."
Maybe. Oh well.
So, or he's like, "Oh, we've got to the point where we're going to talk about Discovery."
Yeah, I'm out. No, he's back. There he is.
There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He dipped out because he's like, no, I can't handle this.
Yeah.
This is a segment of the show where just Daniel and I.
That's right. That's right. All right, so we're talking about episode 5 from season 5, Mirrors. The official log line is Captain Burnham and Book journey into an extra-dimensional space in search of the next clue to the location of the Progenitors' power. Meanwhile, Rayner navigates his first mission in command of the U.S.S. Discovery, and Culber opens up to Tilly. I mean, that's basically all the plot points in the film.
Can I say something?
Yes, go for it.
Okay, you guys are familiar with the fill in the word books. Choose an adjective, choose a noun, choose a.
Oh yeah,
Mad Libs.
Mad Libs. We did them on the show a couple
yeah,
times.
Yeah, Mad Libs.
Oh, I got more. We can do more.
I think that's how the writers are writing these episodes. Because I mean, they're just coming across like random things and doing random things. It's like, okay, they discover what ship? Name a ship, and people are like, the ISS Enterprise. Oh, okay, that's the ship. Like, what? Okay.
No, it wasn't random. It was cost saving. They have the sets. They have the Strange New World sets.
I was going to say that it was nice that they borrowed
right across
that.
the hall. It's like every time. It's like when you're watching TNG. Every time they showed another Federation ship, it's like, is that the battle bridge?
That's the battle bridge.
Yeah,
it's the battle bridge with new curtains, and
right.
We're gonna take ops and helm, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna swap them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've done that a lot in Star Trek. The from Star Trek 6, the Federation President's office was 10 forward.
Yeah,
it's a proud tradition.
I get it.
No, I get that. I get that. This was even further than that, though. This was, hey, it's the same ship from a different universe, so we don't have to change anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. No redress, no nothing.
We'll just turn the lights down a little bit and put some different posters on the wall.
If we make it dark, that means it's evil.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you gotta tilt the camera like this.
Right.
Like it's a Batman episode.
Yes.
Yes. It's Mirror Universe Dan.
Yep.
That's great.
Don't.
I'm at my lair. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically there's like a pocket dimension that they need to go to. They can't get into it with the Discovery, so they use Book's ship and Burnham.
No, they use the shuttle, but Book's ship is gone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the shuttle. Yeah.
Was it a shuttle? What ship was it? It was just a Discovery shuttle?
Yep.
No.
That's a huge shuttle.
Well, when you 3D print it 5 minutes before you leave, I mean,
no, that's true. You make it however you want.
With detachable nacelles, probably.
Sure. Yep.
Why not? Yeah. So they went over, and that's where they found the ISS Enterprise.
Yep.
Which looked exactly like the Strange New World set.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
So here's what I want to know. She brings Book because of his half-assed connection to this girl. And, in all the interactions, she couldn't care less that he goes by the name Cleveland Booker and knew her dad. So my question is Michael going to continue to have Book by her side for the next 5 episodes on this mission, even though we've already seen that it has zero bearing on how the story plays out?
Well, yeah, because this whole season is about connections and how, the power of friendship can overcome all. So
the power of friendship.
Yeah. It's going to end with all of them standing together like the Care Bears, and light will emit from their tummies. And
this just shows the difference between this show and previous iterations. Are you talking about the Care Bear stare? What do you?
Yes.
Yeah, it took me like half a beat. Then I'm like, oh yeah.
So Picard had one girlfriend once,
right,
on the ship. They played flutes and pianos in the Jeffries tube together.
Uh-huh.
She was in one episode. she went on one away mission where her presence may have possibly impacted a command decision, and she transfers off the ship.
Right.
And that was the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yet Michael's got her on again, off again boyfriend going on 2-person away missions, which that's also just like standard away team is 4 people.
Right.
So nope, we're only going to do 2. Only one of them is an actual Starfleet officer.
And the captain.
She's also the captain of the ship. And the other person, while being a civilian, is also her on again, off again boyfriend. Mm-hmm. It's bad writing. It's just so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah. And Ty J does bring up another point we haven't brought up yet, that the Breen were better with the aura of mystery around their appearance.
They 100%. Absolutely were.
Yep.
100%.
They just ruined the Breen. So thank you for that.
Yep.
The Breen DeLoreans.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't get the whole. So they were talking about 2 different faces. I didn't. That
because one lights up with CG and then the other one is prosthetics. That's 2 phases.
So you have the expensive to film Breen and the cheap to film Breen.
Okay, but what's
no explanation was given.
No explanation at all.
I didn't get it either.
And because of that, okay, there's no explanation. They're talking about 2 faces. So you're talking about their regular face and the CGI face. I wasn't sure if it was that, or since they apparently are Mandalorians and don't really take off their helmets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that their face? Their helmet is one face.
I thought that too at first.
And then you take off the helmet, and this is my true face, and I don't normally show my true face. And
they're tri-face.
They're tri-face. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think there was a He-Man action figure that was that.
Oh yeah. Yep. Triclops.
Triclops.
Nope. Triclops had three eyes. The guy with 3 faces was Man-E-Faces.
Man-E-Faces. There we go.
Hold on. This deserves.
Go ahead.
Warning. Nerd alert.
I will proudly accept that nerd alert.
Yep.
That's right. Because you got the power.
I do have the power.
That's right.
Well, that's his name from now on, Man-E-Faces.
Man-E-Faces. Yeah,
I don't even remember the character's name now. Man-E-Faces.
I don't know, that whole thing. It's like, okay, so they fall in love. Why? I don't understand what happened there to make them. They didn't flesh that out at all. It's like, all right, you're the delivery driver, and I'm the receiving clerk, and I do your paperwork every Tuesday when you come here, and you convinced me to take my helmet off, and now we're in love. That's all it was. There was no.
I didn't see any chemistry.
No,
I said that last week. There's no chemistry.
I was waiting. Okay, so last week it was fine because we don't know the backstory yet. And I'm like, okay, we'll get the backstory and we'll see why these 2 are a pair. They'll show us why these 2 are a pair. And they didn't show us. They just told us. These 2 people were in close proximity every Tuesday for 6 months, and now they're in love. Accept that.
Yep.
It would have been better if they showed her, like the way she was kind of like scamming the Breen, and then somehow she tricks him, but eventually they're gonna get caught, right? And so she tells him, "Look, you're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna get killed for failing to catch me. So just come with me, and I'll take you somewhere safe, and that way you can live." And then they fall in love as they're traveling. And then you do flashback, because then that way it's more believable and organic how they fell in love. Yeah. And just, hey, we meet up every now and then, and I guess we're in love now.
Yeah.
So
Scott, you drive a truck, right?
I do.
Have you ever fell in love with the receiving clerk?
Almost never. Almost never.
Almost.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Wait a minute. Was Desiree a receiving clerk?
No.
Is that how you guys met? Is that your is that the Bowders family?
We worked in the customer service field. We worked at a regional store called Meijer, and it's kind of like a Walmart out here in the Midwest.
Okay.
And she worked in the photo lab, and I was a cashier, and that's how we met.
Nice.
She developed some compromising photos, and
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. No, you have such little interaction. I was thinking about this too. You have such little interaction with the person behind the counter. Even if you see each other every day, there's no way these two, especially with the mask and the barriers and the people watching, they might have flirted a little bit, but developed feelings.
Wife is listening.
Yeah, Desiree says wife's listening. Okay. So, yeah, I didn't buy it. I've never fallen in love with a clerk.
And the mask thing, falling in love with someone behind a mask, is ridiculous. This would be the equivalent of, you're a fan of the Cleveland Indians, and you go to the games all the time, and you fall in love with the mascot. just the way he dances on the field, it just drives me crazy. I love him. I don't care what he looks like underneath there. And then one day he just takes that big giant head off, and
it's Manny faces. It's like, whoa! I thought you might have been all furry.
Dan, you're saying you couldn't see Gritty there?
No,
the Philadelphia Flyers mascot.
No,
well, just someday be like,
although
hey,
the longer I stare at him,
exactly those eyes,
they're
mesmerizing. And look at that strong beard. Oh,
yeah.
I need to take this shirt off.
Oh no.
So that's your gut reaction whenever you fall in love with somebody, is you take your shirt off.
That's it.
Duly noted.
That's it. It's a first step.
The chat is saying it's the Indian Guardians now. It's the Cleveland Guardians now. They changed it.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Teams change their names.
I will call them the Cleveland Guardians of forever.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna have to say it, I'm gonna trek it up.
What about the Galaxy?
What's that?
The Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, that's not Star Trek.
That's true. You're right. Stay on brand. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because we've never talked about anything other than
anything else. Never.
No.
Always
we
Star
only
Trek.
it's always Star Trek all the time.
Yeah.
Very predictable, are we?
Yep. Yep. And a little bit of Batman.
That's right.
But
or
just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more synopsis? Any more? What else happened?
What else happened? At one point, Book and what's his name? Lack? The Breen guy. What's his name?
Locke? Is it Maul and Locke?
Maul
Right?
Maul and Locke.
They got separated by some force field or something, and so Book and Maul had to go and take them down and get them out.
That part wasn't real clear to me. Like, what part of the room were they in? They didn't show like maybe an overhead shot, or it wasn't. The set was weirdly laid out. I didn't understand. But whatever.
Who is Casey Smith?
New person. Hey, welcome.
Yeah. Welcome
to
the show.
Smith.
Yeah. They like the show, so all right, cool. If you enjoyed it. But you're right, the them being separated and then all of a sudden they're like 4 feet from each other with phasers pointed at each other, just kind of talking and bored. Like, I don't understand how that happened. And yeah.
I don't know.
Because they were in sick bay, right?
Right.
Okay.
Guys, I'm starting to think the writing of the show isn't very good.
They're just getting going. I'm
That's
sure.
Right.
I'm sure Discovery will find its third season charm.
There you go. Yeah.
So it's fine. Everything's fine.
They've written themselves into so many corners. You've got this wrist-mounted replicator.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, replicate yourself some armor and take the first shot.
Yeah.
It just nothing makes. They can do so many things now that nothing they do makes sense anymore.
Yeah. We keep saying it. They need rules for the technology, so then you know what's possible and what isn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd like to see what the show Bible says. Every show has a show Bible, that gives those kind of rules. Like you can do this, you can't do this. This is capable of that.
Every show is supposed to have a show Bible. I'm starting to wonder if this one does.
This is how these certain types of characters behave or species behaves. This is what they likely do. Ship's got this many people. It's a reference guide that I don't know if any of the writers are looking at.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know.
But anyways, so from there, Captain Burnham, and Maul figure out how to take down the force fields, I guess, kind of. And they get out of there, but then there's more problems, and the ship is going to be stuck in the pocket universe. And so Book and Burnham figure out by using a tractor beam they can somehow get out. That wasn't clear to me either. Like, what was that about?
They're able to use the tractor beam, only they weren't doing the towing. They were being towed by it was like a lasso. They were throwing their lasso onto another ship and having that ship pull them out of the mud.
Okay, so they were hooking onto Discovery, and Discovery was pulling them out.
Right.
I think they shot their tractor beam out. Discovery grabbed onto their tractor beam.
Okay.
Because Discovery couldn't scan into they wouldn't have known to throw a tractor beam into the anomaly or whatever they were in.
So the communication that they did, where it was like 432 or something, and he recognized that from a story or something.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Makes zero sense whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
If you can send numbers for someone to read, you can communicate with them.
Yeah.
100%.
That's how communication works.
That's how binary works.
That's how binary works. That's how Morse code works. If you can send a series of numbers, you can communicate. This is the kind of shit where it's like, this doesn't make any sense.
To be fair, I will say this. They did mention the story ahead of time that she had been studying his culture. So that was kind of like the writers saying, it was the
foreshadowing. I get that. I understand foreshadowing, but when the foreshadowing doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I'm going to send him a code that he might understand because I read a story that I'm pretty sure he also read. Or I could send a goddamn SOS like every naval ship for the last 7,000 years has been trained to do.
Here, let's try this. I'm going to send you some numbers based off a story, and you tell me if you can figure it out. 3 and 1.
3 and 1?
Yeah.
Section 31.
Nope.
There's 3 of us doing one podcast.
No.
See?
It doesn't work.
But if instead you had said, "Hey Dan, listen to this," and I have a Starfleet communications person behind me who could say, "Oh, those are dots and dashes. That must be an SOS."
Ty-J, every time I think an episode is okay, I watch Trekcast and I learned about 10 plot holes I didn't catch.
Yes. Trekcast, the place where you go to hate Discovery.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to always I don't mean to always dump on this show.
I want to love this show so much.
We all want to love this show.
I want to love it so badly, but there's so many reasons not to, and some of them are such dumb reasons.
I'll tell friends of mine these are great first drafts of a script. Like you have your idea. Let's go hammer this out a little bit better. We can really make this sing if we figure out the fine-tuned details, right? And they're almost there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when friends of mine who aren't Trekkies say, "What's up with this Star Trek thing going on? What should I start watching? I want to watch the new stuff." And I'm like, Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
Strange New Worlds. You might get something out of Lower Decks, although Lower Decks really is a love letter to the fans.
Right.
Picard has a huge backstory. But Strange New Worlds, I mean, yeah, there's references to the past and to the future, I guess.
I recently told a friend, because he was asking me that, like, what do I start at? But I knew that he was really into TNG, so I told him, watch Picard season 3. I'm like, don't worry about season 1 and 2.
Nope.
Forget it. Just start with season 3.
Yep.
Start there, and then if you like that, then we'll talk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great advice. Well, I've got a couple of palate cleansers. If I was going to mention some of the trivia that I found on IMDb, and one of the nits that I saw, which I actually was thinking about. In fact, I shouted it out during the episode. But we'll start with the trivia, of which I can only see one that matters. This was the 900th episode of Star Trek.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we've got 100 more episodes of Star Trek before we reach the 1,000 mark.
Wow.
That's
so
crazy.
essentially, Academy could be that 1,000 episode.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, because we've got Strange New Worlds, and we've got, because they don't do 25 episode seasons anymore.
Right.
So we've got 10 seasons, really, maybe 9 seasons of more Trek before we hit that 1,000 episodes. Yeah. But the nit, the goof. Remember when they had to launch a photon torpedo, and they're like, hey, if we take the payload out of a photon torpedo and replace it with antimatter, then it'll go boom.
That is what a photon torpedo payload is. It's antimatter.
Yes, exactly. That'd be like saying, "Oh, let's take out the bomb, take the C4 out of it, and put explosives in instead."
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Casey says it's. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think it's the regular payload. It still doesn't make sense, but I'm pretty sure the regular payload is antimatter and an equal supply of matter, so that when they collide, they annihilate each other and release this energy. So is he talking about take that out and only put only antimatter in there? Is it meant to react
Captain
to
wants
something
big
else?
Boom.
Yeah, give Captain boom.
I don't know. Why does that stand? I mean, whatever makes the biggest boom, which I would imagine if you're going to make a bomb of any kind, a torpedo of any kind. Now, granted, they can set the. I don't know if they can do this in the. Well, yeah, they're in the 31st century. I'm pretty sure they can set the yield on them. So, wouldn't you want its highest yield to be the biggest boom you could make? And wouldn't you already engineer that? Show Bible. This is what our torpedoes are made out of.
So we have programmable matter. Do we have programmable antimatter?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Is there a switch you could flip to reprogram the matter to make it antimatter?
Reverse the polarity of the matter.
Reverse the polarity of the Odeon conduit, and you know that.
And throw in some gel packs, and we're good.
That's
we're
right.
Good.
The Heisenberg compensators to make sure it doesn't prematurely explode.
Put some nanoprobes in there if it's Voyager, just to
that's right.
stay consistent.
Boy, oh boy.
Reprogrammed nanoprobes, of course.
Yeah.
Always reprogrammed.
Always.
Oh, I don't know, guys. I don't know.
Yeah. Is that your only nit, or you got another?
That was the only nit that made any sense. So,
So I was going to bring up Casey is saying that when TNG came along, all the TOS people hated it. Expectations caused the disappointment. That's a fair point, but I think too, some of the things we're pointing out, it's not that the show in itself, like creation, is the disappointment, which people want change and all that, don't want change. Our problems with this is some of the structural things in the story.
Yeah,
that could be fixed, and then it would be great. There, it's all these little like plot holes that we keep pointing out.
I think the problem is they haven't fixed any of these things. So TNG came out, and that first season is pretty rough.
Right.
And the second season has a couple of good episodes in there, but they were still finding their way. Honestly, when I had my wife watch TNG with me, I started at season 3. I said, there's really nothing in the first 2 seasons that you have to see. And then right before we watched All Good Things, we watched Encounter at Farpoint so she could understand what was happening. And I tell people the same thing with Deep Space Nine. If you don't want to watch the early episodes, you don't have to. There's some good stuff in there, but it was a little rough in the beginning also.
Skip to the first episode of Worf.
Watch Emissary so you understand who's who in the zoo, and then skip to when Worf comes along.
Yeah, Way of the Warrior.
And you'll be fine. And if you fall in love with those characters, you can go back and watch those early ones. Voyager, you got to watch the pilot episode to understand what's going on.
Yeah, why they're there.
I don't know if there's really a definitive skip to point.
Probably when 7 and 9
Voyager
comes on.
Just skip everything with Cass.
A lot of stuff happened.
That's true.
A lot of stuff happened before then. Tuvix was pre 7 of 9, and that's
my boy.
You can't write him off like Janeway did.
That's true.
I guess so. The point I'm making is there's a long history of Star Trek getting off to bumpy starts, finding their way, and maturing into a better show.
Right.
But we just talked about Picard, season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Season 3, fantastic.
Right.
So the difference is this show has just, it's 5 years. They haven't fixed anything.
Yeah. Well, they've made the show they want to, and it's different than any other Star Trek we've had. It's more focused on the relationship between the characters, which has been the edict from day one, and that's how they want it. It's it's not. They even said in the show, like, this isn't the way most ships operate. It's not a professional running of the ship. Even Burnham conceded that, probably sometimes it's not the best, but it's how they do things, and that's how they do it. So, like, it kind of makes me think of, like, we used to joke on this show that one of the things about Star Trek is it's the nerdiest show because it's a bunch of people following the rules. And then we get a show where all these people do not follow the rules. And so we're all sitting here like, why aren't they following the rules?
Well, you know what? People have often said, why do conservatives like Star Trek? They can't understand why conservatives like Star Trek. And that's a big part of it because it's a bunch of people following the rules.
Right.
I think that's the draw. That's the draw for those people on the right. And when you take that away, I don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of loses it loses some of that draw for some of those people.
Right.
Well, Starfleet kind of looks like a military organization.
Yes.
That's true.
But when it no longer acts like one, like this show, you lose that draw.
Yeah, I kept thinking back to that scene where it's like, who's in charge? Oh, you guys figure it out.
Yeah. No.
Not in any organization I've ever been involved with.
Right. Right.
And just so you know, my battery is dying on this thing, so I might cut out in a minute and switch to my phone.
Okay.
So I will be back if that happens.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, anything else we want to say about this episode?
Dan, we all have to say one good thing. We're back to that.
Okay.
All right. Well, you guys go first because I'm gonna need a minute.
I do. Okay. I do like that they very clearly looked at the resources they have. They looked at the Strange New World set and they said, "Hey, we can use that for something." That's cool. That's cool that they thought outside the box that way.
Yeah. I like the tractor beam rescue scene. I thought that was neat. I thought that they pulled that off pretty cool. The visuals, as always, the visuals on the show are amazing. They've really come a long way, obviously, even in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
And I'm silly for Tilly. I love Tilly.
Tilly's great.
Any chance she's on screen. We didn't get any the engineer. We didn't get any Tig Notaro this episode, did we?
Yeah, I think Tig Notaro only flies in, does a few of her scenes, and flies out. I don't think she's there the entire time.
So I hope we have more of her. But yeah, Tilly is. I think there's this cool relationship budding between Tilly and the Doctor. This cool friendship, and I hope that plays out a little bit more as the series ends.
I mean, if she's going to be in Academy, it gives me hope that maybe the Doctor will show up there too sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So
I like the idea of them preserving the ISS Enterprise as a piece of history.
Yeah, that's cool.
Even if it is a piece of alternate history, because it's from the mirror universe. And I also like the idea of Detmer, a Wochoku, and a skeleton crew limping this thing back to Federation headquarters. And I just imagine what an experience that has to be for those people.
Yeah. Oh, we lost him.
Bye, Dan.
Bye.
So, to expand on what he was saying, an experience for the people that were flying the ship back. They're flying this. Not only is it a piece of history from the 31st century, they're in the 31st century, and the ship is a piece of alternate history from way back. But it's also a contemporary piece for the people on that ship. This is from their time. This is the time travelers' time period stuff. So
I just thought of something.
Yeah.
What if that's the teaser for the Section 131 show? The movie.
So they're going to use the ISS Enterprise as like
somehow,
the home base?
like there's something on there that okay, no, he's all right. Maybe. I mean, there's. Oh no, we lost him again.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
But yeah, I mean, it could be a teaser, right? Somehow, Giorgio shows up on that ship, needs to grab something or needs some information, whatever. Like, may not be the full plot point, but it could be a plot point in the movie.
I have a couple questions about the ISS Enterprise. Number one, it hasn't been shown yet, has it?
Hold on. What, Dan?
No, real quick, if I could just finish my thought.
Yeah, go for it.
Cut off. It's a cool idea that this skeleton crew who lived most of their lives in the 23rd century just gets to step back into the 23rd century, even for a couple days, just to cruise this ship home. It's got to be a comforting feeling for them.
Right, yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
I basically said that word for word for you while you were flipping your phone into your crotch.
It's not that kind of stream, Dan.
Yeah.
Sorry. Only Dan's.
Only Dan's. Okay, so I have two questions about the ISS Enterprise. Number one, we have not seen her yet, have we? In any of this new Trek? We didn't see her in Discovery season 3, did we? Or 2? Or
I feel like when they went to the Mirror Universe, they mentioned it.
Okay, so we haven't seen the ISS Enterprise since Mirror?
Yeah.
Okay. And I just got done, speaking of the original series, my wife and I just got done watching Trouble with Tribbles.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Did you see Cisco in there?
Yeah, well, I kept saying, hey, hon, do you see Jadzia? Right? Oh, she's right behind the panel right there. Mm-hmm. Before we continue with the series, we're going to watch Trials and Tribulations and then continue on.
Nice.
So I have the other question I have was, how long has the ISS Enterprise been stuck there?
Oh, man. That's a good question.
From whose time frame?
Yeah.
Well, from its own time frame. Like, how long has it been sitting there? Because, like, the lights work, and there's still air on the ship, and all the stuff works. So it hasn't been there for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
I feel
or has it? They weren't real clear on.
I think it has been. I think it has been.
Well,
But
then I want
I
that
also-
power supply because, man,
Well, it would have a warp core, right? And our warp core is basically limitless.
When the Defiant showed up on Enterprise, the U.S.S. Defiant, when it traveled to the mirror universe, it traveled through space and time. So we don't know how this ship got there.
yeah.
Right. Traveled from one. Well, no, because
where's the crew then?
They said you can't cross over anymore because the universes are too divergent. So it must have crossed hundreds of years ago, and it's been sitting there for hundreds of years.
That's one hell of a power source.
Well, and technically, it didn't cross over to our universe; it crossed over into some sort of pocket universe, and then from there, we were able to pull it out.
All right, then I don't know. Maybe it got there yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Knows?
Whatever.
Yeah. The answer is whatever you want it to be, Scott.
Okay.
Whatever you want it to be.
Apparently, it was protected. The power supply was protected by plot armor.
May the power protect you.
Yes.
As they say in Power Rangers.
Yes. It was
and also with you.
Low power mode.
That's true. It was low power mode.
Screen's dimmed. It's fine.
Okay.
That's the one thing they don't tell you is that evil ships with the dark lighting saves on power.
Saves on power.
It is the benefit.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, the ship uses power when there's people on it. The doors don't open when there's no people on it. The turbo lifts don't move when there's no people. The replicators don't replicate when there's no people on it. So if the ship is just sitting there doing nothing and the shields aren't up, I mean, who's the...
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Fair
okay.
Point. All right.
All right.
Well, anything else we want to say, or should we get to feedback?
I think we should get to feedback.
Okay, let's get to feedback.
Set it up.
Okay.
Listener feedback.
All right. Oh, Scott's drinking his brew there.
Yep.
And I'm asking people to X up in the chat. While they're doing that, Scott, you said you had some emails?
Yeah. So the first email I have is from Duval. It's quite lengthy, so I'm going to kind of summarize a little bit. Greetings, Trekcast. At first watch, the episode was interesting, except for the space Romeo and Juliet or whatever is going on there. He said his second watch got him thinking about, did they ever explain what clue they got, that the space Bonnie and Clyde got into the wormhole? Did they ever explain that clue at all? I don't think they did.
No.
And he was surprised that they didn't do a 6 hours earlier thing, which he knows that I hate. And he was confused about, as we all were, I think, how the clue ended up on the Mirror Universe ship. How did it get there? And when Booker and Burnham scanned the ship, the clue is also a life sign. Did you guys catch that? It was a third. I had to watch the scene again. At first they said there was 2 life signs, and then there was a third life sign, but that turned out to be the clue.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, I don't know. He also said that the picture inside the little locket thing that she had looked like the little kid Khan from Strange New Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
And then he mentioned what Kai kind of mentioned. What point in time did the ISS Enterprise go through this wormhole? Was it 1,000 years ago? Was it 300 years ago? So,
last Tuesday is the answer.
Last Tuesday. And he's trying to figure out, it brings up concerns about before the ship was still intact. And then he says, and I've gone cross-eyed. So he's having a hard time dealing with some of this stuff too. He goes on to say, Dan was right. This episode wasn't about a wormhole. It's just a big old plot hole. Those writers did not do a good job of making any sense of these things. This whole thing is making my brain hurt. Maybe I'll go watch X-Men 97 to decompress my brain. He says, anywho, I can't wait to hear you guys' thoughts on this one. I bet it's going to be a doozy. Duvall, NYC freelance correspondent guy for Trekcast. So.
Alejandro says there were quantum signatures. That's why there's 3 signatures.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
here's the thing. As soon as you said that it was Duvall who messaged us about this, all I could think about was this chopped cheese sandwich.
That's right.
Talking about. And that, me, him, and Daniel are going to get one of these things.
We should
next month. And everything else you read was just like right out of my.
Like Charlie Brown's parents. Yeah. Are they really that good?
I don't know. I never had one.
Oh, okay. Well, great. You live there. How have you?
I don't live there. I live here.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked down there, but I didn't.
I mean,
I didn't sample every type of cuisine in the city of New York.
You didn't get
Come on.
You didn't get a sidewalk hot dog and just want to puke your guts out later?
Dirty water dogs. That's what
yes. Okay.
You're like our representative of the city, county, and state of New York. So
that's right. That's right.
we count
it from the city of New York.
Okay.
Like the rest
I do have one more email.
Okay.
This is from Xenogriff.
Okay.
He says, hello to all Trekcast. Been listening to your podcast for a bit. Started with the first podcast since you guys took over. It helps me get through work after some hard times in 2003 and some in 2004. I love the show. You guys are funny as hell. Also want to give a shout out to my fellow Michigander, Scott. Never been to a Trek Con, and I only been to one Comic Con. Looking forward to more Strange New Worlds and Section 31. Just finished the first season of Fallout and loving it. Anyways, thanks for all the wonderful commentary, and stay safe. Live long and prosper. K. Scott.
Nice.
So,
cool.
Hey.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Thank you very much for the email. You can send your emails to trekcasttng@gmail.com, or you can send them to me at strongbeard1701 at gmail.com, and we will read them live on the air.
Nice. And we've got also Chazbiz on the line, so let me bring him in.
All right.
There he is.
Hey.
Repping the shirt.
Yep, I'm repping the
England?
shirt. In England.
What are you doing over there?
Vacation.
Nice.
Nice.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Still watching the show on vacation.
Man, that was the hardest thing to find this show in the UK to get it to work, because Paramount, for some reason, when I first came over, wasn't working correctly. So,
I mean, I'm in the United States. It never works correctly for me. So
no, and then finally I got it to work, and then I watched the episode and fell asleep through it. So,
what
time is it over there?
It is 5:00.
Okay.
In the afternoon. So.
Okay.
So we're what? I guess your East Coast would be 5 hours ahead of you. So.
Yeah, or 8 hours for me.
Yeah, or 8 for you, or for me it'd be 6 hours. So.
Okay.
Right on. Awesome. Yeah. So are you in what part? You're in England. What part of England are you in?
What part of London are we in?
Oh, you're in London.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in London. So
okay.
We're in London. We're doing the whole rigmarole around here, doing all the
so Big Ben and you're gonna
seeing where everybody was beheaded, and
yeah, you're gonna go mess with the King's Guard.
Their fast food they love is Greg's.
Is
Greg's? Gonna go there? Yeah,
I haven't seen it, Greg's. Oh.
It's their it's their fast food. They've got something called a sausage roll that's supposed to be amazing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look for it tomorrow.
Okay.
Also, Chazbiz, if you go up to one of those King's Guards that are wearing the red and the black hat, if you tug on their uniform, they'll give you candy.
They'll give me candy.
Yeah.
Also, give you a lot of...
Make sure you touch the horse.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Emotionally touch it, not physically. Connect with the horse.
Whoa.
Mind
meld with it.
That's right.
Scott, I saw the hand. I saw the hand. Oh man, it was.
It looks like he tried to block me.
That's right.
It's like, you're not mind melding me.
You're not doing it. Well, we did the King's Guard today, and oh my god, that takes forever. Because you're like, okay, they're changing the guard, and they bring in the band, and then these guys like march back and forth to the gate probably like 30 times, and you think it's almost over, and it's like, okay, he's marching back to the gate, turns around, marches again, and you're like, okay, what's going on here? And it starts raining, and it's cold, and everybody's pushing you, and it's like, can I turn this on?
It's rainy and cold in London, huh?
Yes,
that's not the London I know.
Yes,
it's always sunny there. That's what I hear.
Yeah,
but it's worth it. If you've never been, definitely go.
Cool.
And Daniel, I took the Paddington bus for you.
Fantastic.
Yes,
they have Paddington statues all over London.
Yes, I had tea and scones on the Paddington bus. I got right in the front row, and they put me in the smallest damn seat you've ever seen in your life. So you got a fat guy right in the front of the bus.
That's cool.
In the seat.
And request an American size. Can I have an American size seat, please?
Yeah.
Like big one.
There's probably pictures out there with the guy on the Trekcast shirt that's stuck in the front seat of a double-decker Paddington bus. So.
Oh, man. That's rough.
But I'm representing Trekcast, so...
Thank you.
If those ever go out online, you'll know why.
Yeah.
Like, look at this poor bastard.
Just don't get arrested while you're wearing that shirt.
Yes. No lewd conduct or anything. No,
we don't need that kind of representation.
Yeah. We don't need that kind of bad publicity.
No.
International incident.
That's right.
So don't touch the horse with the Trekcast shirt on. So
Right.
So or do. I mean, we can use bad publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, next area is Paris, so I'll do that Tuesday. Yeah. So I'll try to get a picture with the Eiffel Tower with the shirt on.
Nice.
So.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So I got Buckingham Palace, the Paddington bus today with the shirt on. So
awesome.
Do something newsworthy, like take your pants off and run around, just yell, Trekcast!
Okay, do helicopter round and round Trekcast.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That'd be awesome. I mean, some of us will get canceled, but hey.
Yeah. Oh, we just got a question from Casey. Is Amazon going to help fund Legacy? I mean,
that's a good question. Who knows?
I mean, theoretically, it could go
with what's going on right now with the streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on with Paramount? Any news on that?
Last we knew,
it's fluid.
Yeah, last we knew, there's a million different potential buyers. Sony is the latest one. Sony and some private equity firm called Apollo. So who knows?
Yeah, we're going to put our $37 bid in from our coffee account. So
that's right.
We'll see.
Maybe
$37 plus our love for Star Trek
and 3 cough drops that I have.
Okay, we got it.
A dandelion.
Yep. Don't spend our chopsticks money on buying.
That's right. Well, we didn't mention it yet, but we're gonna have a new coffee account goal because I showed this to Dan and he wants it. So we need about 10 grand to get the Terminator, the flamethrower dog.
Yeah.
So Dan needs this.
Yep.
So
I love it.
It'll help us rescue dogs. So.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe you can cook some hot dogs in New York with those. So
good.
There you go.
The
true devil dog.
Nice.
So what was your thought of the Breen this week? Did you like the reveal, or do you wish the helmet stayed on?
Yeah, nope. I wish the helmet stayed on.
I think we're all in agreement on that.
Yeah.
They should have kept the mystery alive.
Well, the mystery should have been alive, and then how they hid their voice, like you can't understand what they're saying, and then all of a sudden, we're like, oh, they can, easily understand us and speak our language.
Yeah.
Just with like a little switch.
They could have
come on
the whole time. We had to listen to that garbled mess on Deep Space Nine for years.
Right.
I thought they were going to have a bunch of subset species. I thought they were going to be kind of like the Xindi. and they were going to reveal
so
that
cool.
some of them were,
like several...
lizard, and some of them were furry, and some of them, I didn't think they were just going to be like generic green aliens from the Orville.
They could have been like the Daleks or something. So
if they were going to unmask the Breen on this show in this storyline, they completely missed the opportunity to make them the descendants of the Progenitors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That would have.
Yeah.
Okay, you should be the writer now. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey. Fly us out to Vancouver?
Yeah. No kidding.
Yep. Go up there and be like, hey, I got an idea. They could
for
be
the cost of 3 business class plane tickets and
first class.
intermediate accommodations.
No, they definitely fly you coach. Paramount's broke, guys.
Yeah.
We can turn this ship around for
You're
Paramount.
taking the Greyhound out there, or whatever the Canadian. Yeah, what would the Canadian Greyhound be called?
Yeah.
The Greyhound, eh?
Greyhound, eh?
The Goose. They probably just nickname it the Goose.
Oh, probably.
Goose, you gander.
The Grey Goose.
The Grey Goose. Nice. Well, Jasmine, is there anything else you want to bring up?
That's about it,
All right.
Like this episode, it was Bonnie and Clyde pretty much. You kind of get a little background to their story. And I guess was it Locke's hurt right now? Something like, did he get shot or what happened to him in the episode?
He got stabbed.
He got stabbed. Yeah.
He got stabbed. So, but Michael wanted
by
to
a plot
help
knife.
him by a plot knife. And of course, he'll have that wound all through the end of the season and probably die. And then Maul will, either get revenge or have to do something crazy. So
right.
They'll have one more prosthetic laden kiss.
Yes. They will taste like plastic.
So.
Scott's favorite.
My favorite.
Yes.
The prosthetic laden kind.
Have you ever asked any of the actors what it's like to kiss like that with the prosthetics on?
No, but I might at the convention.
Every time I saw Odo and Kira kiss, I'm like,
yeah.
Like,
like Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
It's like kissing a CPR dummy.
Yeah.
You're right, exactly. Because that's what he kind of looks like.
Well,
you even have to yell clear before you do it.
That's what I should have asked the non-visitor when I saw her.
Yeah.
What was it like kissing Odo?
Think what the Ferengi teeth would be like if you had to make out with the Ferengi. You had those nasty teeth in there. So.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's what I should ask Armin Shimmerman when I see him in November. What was it like you and the Grilka making out?
Oh, we'll see him in May at the convention.
Oh yeah. So you guys.
No, Armin will be there. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll see him in November for the Grand Rapids Comic Con.
Well, you know what we'll do is we'll hand him something to give to you.
Are you doing Mac and Me or something?
Yeah.
Always reminds me of Mac and Me. So
what's that? Mac and cheese? What?
No, Mac and Me.
Yes.
Remember that bad movie?
It got my attention too.
It was like one of the worst alien movies out there.
One of the best.
They even had a dance off in McDonald's. Don't forget. So.
Oh my God.
Which movie was this?
Mac and Me. It was sponsored by Coca-Cola and McDonald's, pretty much.
Okay, I remember the advertising for this movie. I never actually saw it.
Yes, and basically they drank Coca-Cola the whole movie, and then they went to McDonald's for a dance off, and it's the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen.
Da, 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 da.
Yes, it was like that.
Every Trekcast episode has to have a musical element.
There we go. There's Mac and Me.
Yes.
Yeah, there he is.
And if you have Netflix,
ET ripoff.
That was the that was the guy with the movie head.
Yes.
Who, I'm going to tie it back to Star Trek, kind of looks like our Breen friend.
I was going to say, kind of looks like Moogie.
Yeah, I see more Moogie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks, Jazviz.
All right.
But All right.
Oh boy.
Well, we only got 5 more episodes, and then Dan and I will get to see the last episode together.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we can have a good cry when it's over.
Yep.
Hope we can do a podcast that weekend.
I think we will. The thing I was thinking about is probably realistically we'd have to do it on Saturday.
Okay.
Just because Sunday is when we have to get out of the hotel, and it's going to be hard to record and then get out of there. So.
Okay.
But we'll
get with each other offline and see what the schedule looks like.
Yeah, that's like over a month away, so we're fine.
Okay.
But yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and I guess we'll catch you next week.
Sounds good. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Captain Benjamin Cisco of Deep Space Nine and Space God to the Bajorans. I have a mission for you. This falls outside of Starfleet guidelines, so I can't order you, but I'm asking for volunteers. Volunteers who will subscribe to the Trekcast YouTube channel, leave 5-star reviews on your podcast app of choice, and share Trekcast across your social media accounts. If we can make our audience bigger, we might have a chance against the Dominion. Are you ready? Subscribe, like, and share. Are you with me?